I am Ahmed Zainal. This is Hamad Ibrahim. And we have been friends for a long time. And we, more importantly, have been working on music both together and separately for a long time.
Mhm.
And we decided to do these live Instagram discussions to talk about, why, thank you, Jalila.
Thank you.
Yeah, we decided to do these discussions because we want to share our knowledge, and at the same time, we want to learn as well,
Yeah.
which is part of what our topic is today. And Hamad picked this topic again, which I love, and I'm a complete advocate for collaboration.
hmm
We called this episode, "Hey, bro, let's collab." Because usually that's how the conversation starts, right?
One of the most famous lines every producer and musician has said. Hey, bro, this could have.
Probably has, yeah.
Most of them
So-
end up with them doing nothing.
Well, yeah.
Most.
Yeah, a lot of them
Yeah.
do. It's unfortunate. But it weeds out those who you would know would be flaky, or those who you think you can produce something really nice with.
Mm.
But let's start with, what is it? What is collaboration? For those who are not musical, how would you describe it?
And it's basically having a shared vision of what you and the other person or persons would like to achieve, and trying your best to achieve that vision together. For example, someone can be good at a certain area and someone else could be good at a different area. And they could bring their powers together in order to come up with some music.
Like the Power Rangers.
Kind of, yeah.
Voltron.
Yeah.
Yeah. So why is it important to you as an artist? I can go on and on about why it's important to me.
Because there's so many reasons, and I don't even know which one to start with. As a instrument playing musician, something that I noticed about myself and peers and friends is that when I play with other people, and I don't do this as often as I used to, as in just playing with someone. When I used to play with other people, I became better as a musician, because there's this challenge of, I want to reach where that guy is, or I want us to be so in sync. So we really focus all our energies on just becoming better musicians with each other. In terms of a music writing standpoint, I feel like it's really beneficial because it opens you up to new creative things that you might have not have thought of, or even مثلا if you like a certain type of thing but you've never swayed towards making that kind of music. Yeah, with you, I started doing techno and house music, which I never thought I'd ever be into. That's a great example of just how collaboration can bring out wonders, really.
Yeah, I never thought I'd be working on a prog rock album as well when we did it. So, yeah, I wanted to touch on the collaborations that we did together.
Mm-hmm.
So let's start with the first one, which was your album.
Yeah.
So what prompted you to collaborate with me on this? Let's not talk about the sound-wise, like mixing, mastering, but co-production. Right?
I think
you knew I was someone who has zero prog rock, at the time probably zero prog rock experience. I love metal, but nothing more.
I think I approached you because at the time, to me, you were that person with all the knowledge and all the experience. So I think I just wanted to go in with someone experienced who would know how to handle things that I wouldn't have been able to. And it was a great choice, to be honest, for the time, because I really didn't know anything. And I learned so much just by watching you work and do your thing. And there were instances where you wanted to, I was asking for like a certain type of thing, and you immediately knew how to reach out and try as much as possible to make the thing as close as I described it to you.
Yeah.
That's probably why.
Yeah, I love that experience because I would not. It gave me problems to solve, and that's what I like about working on music in collaboration is there are little problems, little obstacles, and you go through together and you sort of piggyback or go back and forth together to try and resolve them.
Yeah.
More of that I felt during our collaboration on the Slim Fit Tea project. So for those who don't know, probably most of them don't know, Slim Fit Tea was a project that Hamid and I started when we wanted to make electronic music together.
Yeah.
Mainly it was on the deeper side of techno. But the first track we did was actually a deep house track in your old room, Bad.
My old room, yeah.
Yeah, that was when we came up with the name, Bad. It was some sticker you had from some
on
t-shirt.
the wall, yeah.
It said Slim Fit Tea, but we changed it to Chai.
Yeah.
But yeah, that first track was awesome. It was literally we were on headphones, and we would just take turns. I'd do the beat, you'd go on with your guitar, work on the beat a bit more. We'd sequence, and then you'd be working on recording the guitars for the verse part, and I would sit down. At the time, I was sitting with your sister because we didn't have a vocalist, and we got Hala to actually sing the lyrical part. So I actually sat and started writing lyrics with Hala as well. So
and we came up with a song in like 2 hours or something.
Yeah, 2 to 3 hours max. Yeah, and it was done. And we decided, we work well together on this kind of sound. So let's continue. Let's pursue it. But I think the most important element that kept me working with you was the fact that you are disciplined and that you also wanted to put in the commitment. Yeah, it wasn't just me, you know? And we both had that. We both got excited when something cool came out. Whether it was me or you,
it was a drive for me, because when you compare the first song we made together and the last song we made together, my amount of contributions to what made that song grew exponentially. And the first time was just me playing guitar and you sort of showing me ideas, and I tell you what I'd like, and then it ended up with me like even making the beat at sometimes, or like just adding different instruments on my own or with you. It was definitely something that drove me to grow as a musician and producer. Yeah, no, it was a really fun project that I'd like to revisit one day. Oh, definitely gonna happen. Maybe on a more live setting. Instead of just sitting down and producing, I'd love to do it live. So I told you, I envisioned our live performance for that project to be you with a guitar and a couple of synths, maybe a sampler, and then I've got the drum machine and some more synths, and then we'll have the mixer between us so we can play around with effects and stuff. So we'll see. One day, man. We'll make it happen. The future will hold. Yeah. But I want to hear about your collaboration with your Kuwaiti bandmates. So are you? I read about this. Are you a remote band? Yes, definitely. So you're a remote band. Okay. So for those who don't know, I just found this out, honestly. Remote bands are basically band members that are geographically challenged, but have somehow managed to come together and make an album, write a full album, record a full album together. So explain, how did it start and how? It first started when this guy that I had no idea about followed me out of nowhere. He was Kuwaiti. His name is Mohammed Ilyas. He played more or less the exact same style that I played. So I was immediately taken aback. And I don't remember who initiated the conversation. I think he did. That he wanted to collaborate on a project, and we'd show each other our demos and stuff like that, and go back and forth. So this guy tells me, "What if I come to Bahrain and we can write together and see if there's chemistry and if there's a possibility of a project coming up, if we can do something together. And I was like, yeah, sure, because I really liked how he approached music making. He was not only a guitarist, he's also a producer, so he did all the drums, all the bass, everything, which is very similar to what I do. So he came by to Bahrain. We sat down, chilled a bit, talked about stuff, and immediately got into songwriting mode. We stared at the computer, punched out like a few riffs here and there, and by the end of his visit, we had like 3 demos already written.
Wow.
Yeah, it was definitely like an instant, that moment of chemistry that you get with someone when you feel like, yes, I can definitely work with you. We bounce ideas off each other very easily, and we both understand what we're trying to go for. It was that kind of thing. And then we slowly built it up. We added Mish'al from Follow the Hunter, Bahrain, and Abbas Ali, also from Kuwait. And now all we do is just like send each other stuff. I've been to Kuwait. Hamoud has been in Bahrain. Like, there have been visits here and there to like just keep it up and like record together more often than record alone. But now all we do is just like record on our own. I pretty much program all the drums. We all come up with guitar riffs. The funny thing about the band is that it's like
you're the drummer.
Yeah, I come up with the I program all the drums. The funny thing is that the band is made up of like 3 guitarists. It's me, Mohammed, and Mish'al. We're all producers. Even Abbas, who's the vocalist, is a producer, and he programs drums, and he does all that. We don't have a bassist. We don't have a drum. It works. We've put out 2 singles so far, and we're working on an EP. And the relationship is pretty easy to maintain as long as we're like communicating with each other and just making sure that we're all on the same path. So, yeah.
Wow. So collaboration knows no boundaries, even geography.
Definitely. And in this time and age, it's pretty easy to make music with anyone you want, as long as you have internet and the ability to send files back and forth. And it's been done like since God knows what. People have been doing it for like years. And now it just gets easier every year. There are even some DAWs that allow you to make team projects like Cubase, where the project is updated on the other person's computer as someone works on it.
Like Google Docs.
Kind of, yeah.
Okay, but have there ever been any disagreements about a certain element in the track or a certain direction the track was going? How did you handle that?
I feel the best way to do that is to be as honest as possible and try to communicate your thoughts in the best way possible, not to sound offensive at all. When you promote positive feedback, it's like saying, not saying things like, I hate how this sounds, I don't like how this sounds, but saying, I feel like this could be better, I feel like this could be better.
This sucks.
That helps no one, because and maybe some people enjoy that kind of approach, where it's just a back and forth banter between each other. But I feel like it works better when you just do it positively, suggest things.
Be professional.
Yeah, don't present problems, present solutions. Be very democratic. See what everyone else has to say about it.
Very good. And do you think that this project is going to move from a remote band to maybe a real band somehow?
That was the plan, to be honest. And we wanted to bang out an EP and then maybe spend a couple of weeks just like practicing together, finding other members.
Online?
Locally. We'd either go to Kuwait or they come to Bahrain. And try to find like gigs here and there, and for wherever place we'd go, we'd have to get session musicians, a drummer and a bassist basically for all of our gigs until unless we have people who actually do that someday. Maybe.
Okay. Well, I do see a bassist, Salah. He just came in. So he's a really good bassist, by the way.
I've worked a couple of times. I actually have a project with Salah coming up. Yeah, we have a song started. Now
this is going to be an interesting collaboration because I don't think he's sane. I think he's insane.
Yeah,
He is the complete opposite of sane.
he's great. The project is really weird. It's prog rock, but more like math rock than prog rock. It's pretty interesting.
What is math rock? Explain, please.
It's basically like any stuff with a lot of weird timings. And it's not super ingrained.
Natura style.
The cleans take over most of the sound. There's not much distortion. Yeah, it depends on like the bands. Because the current wave of math rock bands, they're all like very clean players and stuff like that.
Okay, so you were into math rock. Like, no, this isn't something new to you.
No, definitely not. But the collaboration aspect of going into something like that is new for me because it's completely a different sound. I had some stuff in mind, and so I had some stuff in mind, and he came in and he showed me his parts, and then I came up with stuff that I felt suited what my vision for that worked, and it fused together beautifully.
Excellent. So it'll be fun to hear, I think. Yeah. Then you have something concrete. Let's hear it for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so we talked about all the good collaborations. Let's go to the bad ones. No names need to be mentioned, but
yeah, no, definitely.
Let's start with either if it's from past experience or what makes a bad collaborator. Basically, I think you already mentioned that if it's someone that just brings up problems and says, "Man, this sucks." No. That's okay. That's one. What else?
Well, flakiness is definitely a thing.
Oh,
and I know you've suffered from that, but having someone just commit to the project, which is, it's even something that I struggle with sometimes, because unless you see it going somewhere and you know that it's solid, it's very hard for a person to really commit into doing something. And I guess it's a work ethic thing that a lot of people don't have, which stems from the whole, hey, let's collab, bro, let's do something. And then like nothing happens, which is pretty common because people are busy at the end of the day. Not everyone has time to dedicate to making something happen. Because it is hard work. You and I, we used to have a schedule. We meet up every Monday.
Every Monday, yeah. Every Monday. We're still doing it every Monday.
It's important to have that type of thing. And if the other person doesn't share your level of commitment, it's going to feel like an unbalanced type of thing. And that could lead to it not working or just not feeling like a fun thing.
True. And I think you also touched on a good point, egos. Yeah. So I tend to think for collaborations, it's best that you leave your ego at the door.
Definitely, yeah.
Walk into that studio with a complete cooperative
state of mind.
State of mind, yeah, exactly. If you wanted to, like, it's like session. What do you call them? Session musicians. So if you had a project and you wanted someone to just put a little banjo line, set that expectation from the beginning. Just tell this person, I need something for my track. Don't call it a collaboration. But if you want to create something from zero with someone, which is not going to be entirely yours, that to me becomes a collaboration. And for that, you need someone that does not have an ego, in my opinion.
Yeah.
There have been a lot of geniuses I've heard, that are full of themselves. And I don't know if that would be someone that I can work with. I mean, I don't think I've ever successfully worked with someone that was like that. But maybe if I find someone who's so crazy talented and who just puts in stuff, I'll just be like, okay, fine, I'll deal with this. I'll do my part because I just want my name on this because it sounds genius. Maybe, but it hasn't happened yet.
I've never experienced a collaboration where someone had an ego. I definitely collaborated with people who had more knowledge and felt like they had to show it, but they would never, because they would never dominate in terms of ideas or how the music goes or the type of stuff that we And I'm fortunate enough to say that I've never experienced that.
Yeah, I don't like. I mean, even not just in music, but I've worked with people on my day job, Yani, where you'd sit in a meeting and the only reason they would talk is just to show people that I know something too, even though it's something irrelevant or something that's been said already. So I don't know if this is an ego problem, if they have some sort of an inferiority complex. Or if they feel that, because collaborations don't always happen 50-50. Like I know that there's in our Slim Fit T track, there's one track that I remember I completely almost finished. All you did, he came in, no joke, guys. He came in, he's just like, hook up my guitar. One take on the whole track. And if you think about it, I did like everything and he just did the guitar. But you know what? Without the guitar, the track is crap. Absolute crap. So even though your tiny contribution to that track was, 10% of the time? Your element, the element that you added, just completely transformed that track to something amazing from something that I felt was so mediocre. So I don't want people to have that issue. Like, don't think that putting a small contribution to a collaboration is a bad thing, because that part could actually make or break that track,
And it doesn't always have to be that you're contributing musically in terms of like actually putting in work. And for some of the wasn't tracks or tracks I've written together with my friends, some of my contributions, I'd literally go in and be like, and both of us have the guitar and let's just do something. This one guy sometimes just writes almost the entire thing, and we'd be there just like, try this note instead of this note for this part. And they try it and they're like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes more sense. And that would be my only contribution in terms of the writing. And I'm there to just make suggestions, kind of like a producer does with someone.
Yeah.
That could be a contribution. It doesn't always have to be like this 50-50%. As long as you commit to the vision and the concept in your head and put in as much as makes the song or the album or whatever it is.
Yeah, that sounds so familiar. And I've worked with guitarists where I was like, see that third to last note? Just one pitch, one semitone up. It goes augmented all of a sudden, and then it sounds completely different. Like I know what I want, but I can't play the guitar. So,
and the way you have to go about it is that you don't you don't attach yourself too much to your ideas. Yeah, for example, if I told this guitarist or whoever it is, just change this little thing or like try this. And they try it and they don't like it, don't get butthurt about it, because you tried something and it failed. We're all everyone has to work together in order to serve the song best, not your personal taste.
Mahmoud Al-Awabi is laughing. He knows because I used to be in a band with him. We used to play every Thursday, and I scream at him and I scream at his brother. His brother is a guitarist, and I would always tell him like I want him to go third, 3/4, or I want him to I want to explain a break to him, and it makes so much sense to my head. It's like boom, khalas, and he just does it wrong every time. It pisses me off. Or his brother, man, we tried so hard to teach him how to play reggae on a guitar. Imagine. All it is plick it, plick it, plick it. He doesn't get it. He doesn't get it. Anyway, at the end we did play a reggae track, and it was fun.
Nice.
Yeah, and you persevere and be patient.
Definitely. Patience bad is a huge part of it. And if there's something that you don't like about it. Yeah, I remember having a dispute about a certain song in terms of collaboration. And the person told me, no, okay, just wait and let me, smooth everything over and try some of your suggestions, but also keep the stuff. And when it's mixed, tell me what you think. that's always something you need to consider.
True.
Having tracks in their raw form doesn't really represent how they're going to sound. For example, there are a lot of factors, and you need to be just like patient, hear people out, express what you think fits the song, but also don't be dominated.
Yeah, but also then there are people that probably haven't collaborated before, and if they sit down with you for the first time and you are someone who has experience, you need to be patient with them because they probably never dealt with someone else musically and have never been in sort of a collaborative environment before. So yeah, I completely agree with you. Let's ask an interesting question. Now, you have worked with a few people, certain people. If you had the chance to, who would you collaborate with? Now, this question, I'll ask it in two parts.
Okay.
What kind of artist, different from the artists that you've already been working with? And it doesn't have to be music, by the way. Don't stick to music. And then anyone specific, dead or alive, if you had the chance to collaborate with them. Alive عارف يعني بتقول لي periphery بتقول لي مريمين زي ما مو مشكلة. But yeah, so let's start with the first part. Other than music, would you collaborate with a different kind of artist? Visual,
I'd love to do a DJ set in like a exhibition or a gallery. And I دايما أتخيل إنه that could be something cool. And then you take on the aesthetics. It's definitely going to happen with Mariam at some point. And then like you take on like the aesthetics of what something is, and then you put the music to it. What that kind of music does, to your mind. What that kind of art does to your mind, and how that translates into music.
Okay. But I mean, at the time, you're gonna like pick the tracks and stuff.
I don't know. It doesn't have to be DJing. If it's like DJing.
Ooh. We lost Hamad. I'll try to bring him back. صدت في خوش سؤال. Okay, he's back.
Oops.
Oops, indeed. Yeah, through the magic of editing, you're gonna have to bring it back.
Yeah, this part, I'm gonna go back to where I was. What did I say? Yeah, it would either have to be like a curated playlist of stuff that I pick that I feel suits the vibe for it, or for example, just like me making a couple of tracks and either playing them back to back or performing as they play in like an English and stuff. That'd be cool.
Nice.
I'd love to collaborate with like a video producer. And have the music match exactly what
yes
be going for.
Yes, that is definitely something I want to do, especially with the live stuff. I'd love to have because what I'm doing with the live stuff is improv, so I'd like to have an equally improv video or graphics performance of some sort.
That'd be pretty cool then.
Yeah, because a lot of the graphics people or lighting people that I know in Bahrain, cool stuff, but there's first time live. But the stuff that they do is downloaded graphics or things that are that you normally see during club scenes and things behind a DJ and stuff. But there's no improv. Like they would, everything's ready and prepared, and then they just cycle through and show. So I would love to have someone who can sort of improv. So I'm talking to, Naila VR?
Yeah.
So I'm talking to her about a very interesting project.
Okay.
She's a very, very, very busy woman. She's doing amazing things. So as soon as she finds some time, I'll reveal more information about it. But it's very similar to what I'm saying. And to do it in this sort of a live remote way is going to be the best way to do it. Although
that's awesome.
maybe we can do something where people wear a VR thing and sort of experience the music and visuals in an interesting way.
It's pretty
so
cool.
yeah. Yeah, collaboration with other arts is always an interesting thing to me.
I'd love to do something with a light guy, as that would be pretty interesting. Like
with what?
A light guy? Yeah, yeah. And
Okay.
Meshuggah, for example, their light guy plays live with them.
Okay.
Yeah, and there's this song called Bleed where the drums are like, the guy is actually doing this on like the light switches, making sure that it's all going with the same beat.
Wow.
He's playing exactly more or less what the notes are, just like on different light switches, and that's insane. I'd love to do something like that someday.
Wow, that would be cool. But that requires a lot of equipment.
Yeah, the guy has to like really practice and take the songs into his like.
But see, that's what I think. Music and performances should be going in that direction. It's part of why I wanted to move to the live techno thing.
Yeah.
Because when you look at DJ festivals and DJ, it's all the same to me now. I can't tell the difference. Yeah. But then I saw. Oh my God, what's the name of that band? The two guys. It's on the tip of my tongue. They're two British guys. They came up with that song January. Anyway.
Okay, I know the song. I don't know.
Disclosure.
Okay.
Disclosure. So their live setup is not very complicated. Okay. There's two stages floating. One guy's on this stage, the other guy's on this stage. But it's not about the how they make the music. It's the actual performance part of it. So at some point they're both on one platform, one on a bass guitar, one on a normal guitar. Best. And then they sort of move to their stage and then they start playing their songs and everything. And with the lights and with everything, that's a show. So I think music on its own is fantastic, especially for people like me and you who really appreciate it and know how it works and want to find out the intricacies and everything. But for the people who want to have fun, who want to experience something, I think grabbing as many senses as possible is the way forward for performers, you know? We want to see shows that are elaborate, but not like pyrotechnics and fireworks and everything. That's rock and roll. I love that. But let's use the technology though. Let's see what else we can do, you know?
There's so much stuff in it that people are trying out and doing. I don't know if you saw Flying Lotus. He did a show inside like a Tesseract cube kind of thing. He's at the center of it, and it's like a hologram at the same time. It was something insane.
Oh, that sounds like Amon Tobin.
Maybe.
Amon Tobin he does a lot of light projection stuff, and his music is
insane.
Freaky on its own, yeah, sick. So I'm really hoping that there are Bahrainis who, if not are experts at this stuff, are getting into it, because I want to work with people who can turn a stage into like a crazy, sensory overload sort of a thing. I might even just call the show Sensory Overload. I don't want to give people epilepsy, but I want people to go, what the hell did I just experience? Sound, lights, maybe smells, I don't know. That would be cool. Is it so? What about famous people? Dead or alive? Let's start with dead.
Dead? Okay, let's start with dead. I don't know, man. Min Mayit, and I would like to do something.
Elvis, Michael Jackson.
Can't think of anyone. I have someone alive at mind right now. There's this producer called Will Putney. And he makes mostly like very heavy music, like deathcore or like death metal or hardcore music, and he just gets like insane tones. Everything he brings out sounds phenomenal and heavy and raw, and I'd love to work with him. And I'd love to work with any of the producers I aspire to, like, as a band.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but there's a saying: "Don't meet your heroes."
Maybe, I don't know.
You know what I mean? You might be disappointed.
I met the guys from Periphery. I was not disappointed.
So I knew you'd say Periphery.
Yeah, loads of them Periphery. They're biggest influence of my music. But yeah, I'd love to work with any of the producers that make the kind of music that I listen to, because there's so many great people out there who are able to bring out stuff that I wouldn't like even imagine possibly coming from myself. I'd love to work with someone who would really push me to my limits and just try to bring out something for me. And I guess that's not as like cool of an answer as like who would be dead or alive. It's
Jimi Hendrix.
Nah, moderately. Yeah, respect to Hendrix, respect to like everyone you mentioned. That's like I don't know, not my type of thing. Jim Morrison maybe would be like an interesting person to work with. He was very not just revolutionary, but he had an eye for the future. There's this excerpt of an interview. I don't know if you've seen it, where he says,
"I know exactly which one you're talking about."
Yeah, he says, "I believe in that music will be made by computers, and it's just the show will be just one guy." That was like in the 70s when he said that. I feel like if he was alive, he'd be doing some crazy stuff, like just how Radiohead's frontman, I don't know,
Yeah, I forgot his name.
Anyways, he is regarded as a pioneer, and he like does crazy things outside of the band and inside of the band. I feel like Jim Morrison would be that kind of person, where he would be still putting out like weird, cool stuff at this point.
See, yes and no, because I heard his DJ set, the Radiohead guy for Boiler Room.
Okay.
And he's pretty bad.
I get it.
But anyway, but I agree with one thing, that he's not afraid to step out of the role that he was in. Like he could have just stayed as lead vocalist, keyboardist of Radiohead, or khalas.
But I'm talking about Jim Morrison from The Doors.
No, okay, no, John Morrison, actually. Yeah. But the Radiohead guy wasn't afraid to step out of that role and then, did a DJ set. Did some solo projects, did some electronic stuff. Like the new Radiohead stuff sounds completely different. Oh, I think we're losing Hamed again. Connection شوي dog. We're just getting excited. Hamed, come back. What he saw. And he's back again. Very funny. Could be.
I also blame Betelgeuse.
Are you sure?
Yeah,
Put your phone on do not disturb, bro.
No, my Wi-Fi stopped working for some reason. I switched to the
Through the magic of editing, we're going to.
Yeah, this is gonna be a hard one. Okay, so you were saying?
Yeah, Radiohead front guy, not afraid to take chances, and I think in collaborations, you should do the same. Like, don't be afraid to speak your mind when you're working with someone, because you never know. That person might actually like the idea, and you might, pursue it, and it would actually make or break the track. Something important for the track. Okay. Who wouldn't you collaborate with?
Who wouldn't I collaborate with?
Like someone famous who would come up to you and say, dude, I want to work with you. And you would say no to. Pitbull, okay, I know you wouldn't work with. Mr. Worldwide, akid la.
Any guy from Guns N' Roses.
Even Slash?
Even Slash. Dad
What?
Rock. Yeah, Dad Rock is just not me, man.
Oh man, I love rock and roll, man. Love it so much.
Still, like, no disrespect to any of those guys. They're legends, and their music just makes me want to like poke my ears off. I don't know.
Man, it's the best music to work out to. AC/DC.
Sure, I get the appeal. It just doesn't work for me, I guess.
Biker music, man. Without the bike. Lots of energy. What about Motley Crue?
Yeah, definitely not. Anything that falls under the label Dad Rock is just a no for me.
Make it sound like a boomer thing, man.
It is. And to a certain degree.
That's not at all.
No. It's not like a mentality thing. I just music from that generation just doesn't resonate with me whatsoever.
Yeah.
Even as a kid, like I didn't listen to all of these bands. Hatta like the big four of metal, which are like Metallica and Megadeth. I wasn't into that stuff as a kid. I don't know.
Maybe it's a generational thing. Lena,
I don't think
your prog rock I really enjoy. Some Periphery I liked. What's that band you like? Animal something? Animals as Leaders, yeah. So some of those tracks. But I can't for the life of me listen to like that stuff. Any other bands, deathcore, death metal, anything where the vocal is too and it's sludgy and I can't. But I love country riff sort of metal.
Like the
Things
southern.
that have a groove, something groovy, southern, yeah. Maybe because of the rhythm, maybe because of the energy. I find myself listening, like regardless of what genre of music it is. I like music that is badassy. I don't know what the word is.
I think I know what you mean. I understand like what type of stuff.
There's an attitude to it.
Yeah.
It's not just Like, Metallica I've grown bored of, honestly. But there are some awesome like Sepultura, not Sepultura, sorry, Soulfly. I discovered through Spotify that like the most band I listen to is Soulfly, which came to as a surprise to me at first. But then I'm like, you know what? Actually, they're amazing. I love their sound. I love their riffs. Even though if you listen to one track, you probably heard them all. But it's the energy. Well, I'd love to work with Soulfly. But they won't work with me. What am I going to do?
Techno in-house DJ. Can I work with you guys? You'd be like, yes.
Right. Is there anything else you want to add about collaboration?
Who would you not collaborate with?
Pitbull, Mr. Worldwide. I don't know. I mean, if I feel like I can't, it's also like the question when they ask you, what track would you remix, or would you remix this track? Sometimes I listen to a track and I think there's no way I can add value to it. Maybe I can do my own interpretation, but I would never accept it being better than the original. So there's two ways that I usually would remix. One would be to give my interpretation, and one would be and I like certain elements and would have loved to hear these elements in this sort of setting as a preference. So the same thing, I think, works with working with bands. Because I feel like their direction is so different or it's so irrelevant to what I'm doing that I'm not going to be able to produce something well. Or I'm not going to be adding any value to what they do, and what they do is pure and awesome in its own form, or working with someone else. Because I pride myself as being a collaborator, and I think I can work with anyone who is willing to work with me. I'm also willing to accept that there will be situations where even when your mindset and the other person's mindset are in sync, that you may not produce good music.
Definitely. The timing could be not right. Your personalities could clash. The work ethic could be different. Or the inspiration to do something might never come just because, of the situation either person is in. There are so many factors to why something won't happen. I'm very lucky to be able to collaborate with the people that I do. I'm very lucky to have found the guys in my band because they play the kind of music that I would like to make. I'm lucky to have collaborated with you because you opened my mind to new horizons. And it's all very lucky coincidences. And that's pretty much what music is, more or less, especially when collaborating with people. If you're really lucky, you're going to find that someone who drives you and brings out these ideas.
Yeah. I mean, it's good advice to give people. If you get the chance to collaborate with anyone, take it. Put in the discipline, put in the commitment, follow it through, and see what comes out. If you don't come out with good music, at least I'm very sure that you will come out of it learning one thing or two from either the other person's creative process, writing process, anything. Just seeing something in a different perspective or someone else's eyes or ears always opens up something in our own heads.
And if it's a bad collaboration, it also helps you realize what you look for in collaboration. For example, if you have no idea whatsoever and you go in to work with this person and they turn out to be just someone you can't work with, you identify that the reasons I can't work with him is this or her is this and this and this and this. And then the next time you try to work with someone, you try to avoid a person with those qualities, either in musical taste or workflow or personality. It's all a learning experience. You have to really try and just go work with other people, see what that brings out in you and what you learn from it.
And it's regardless of DAW as well. And I've seen people that say, "Oh no, you use Fruity Loops? No, I can't. We can't work together. Why? Oh, I use Reason."
Yeah, my bandmates give me shit all the time in a joking way, in a jokingly way, because
Looper for life.
Yeah, that's it doesn't matter as long as we get the work done.
Yeah,
you can watch our first episode for more on that.
Yes, there is no superior DAW except Fruity Loops. I didn't say that. We have a question. Besan Murad, very talented DJ, producer. I wish she produces more. Also, someone I would love to collaborate with, and she knows this, is asking about my pizza. Because I made pizza hot pockets today.
Yeah, the pizza maker.
This is the first time I do everything from scratch, bro.
Yesterday's looked delicious.
Yeah, it was. It was pretty damn good. Our housemaid said, "Oh, can you please teach me how you made it?"
I guaranteed good recipe.
Well, we'll see. Using the leftovers to make hot pockets, man. That's the way to go. Yeah, so there was a question that was sent in. I'm not sure if you can contribute much, but you might actually, because one of the artists that you really like is part of this label. He asked, what do you think of the label Afterlife? Have Afterlife?
Yeah, I know them, but I have no opinion.
I call it Dubai Mall label. The logo is this guy who's falling. It looks like the waterfall on Dubai Mall.
Yeah. Who else is under them?
Stephen Botton, Taylor Voss,
yeah.
Macayoplex, Agents of Time.
Well, these are all people I listen to, but I really have no opinion of the label. I guess they're doing good work.
Yeah, they're very trendy. Very trendy. It's like a deep, melodic, that's a little bit darker than what مثلا All Day I Dream do.
Definitely.
So like for example, they have Amelie Lenz. Amelie Lenz is pretty hard techno, and she's on the roster as well. So I like what Afterlife are doing. It's really good. When they first came out, it was pretty groundbreaking. Hain, it's that melodic, deep, dark sound that you get in those big rooms. Yeah, they had a couple of their artists come to Bahrain. Bedouin is one.
Yeah, Bedouin was insane.
Yeah, he played soundscapes. So yeah, I like Afterlife. Afterlife is good. Not my favorite label, but definitely one that would be producing a lot of stuff. Guys, if you have any questions, please feel free to send them our way. We have about less than 10 minutes. We could talk about anything, music, guitars. Hamed is an expert on guitars. He makes his own guitars at home. A complete lie. Would you, though, if you are able to make a guitar, would you make a guitar? You made that?
No. Maybe if I was able to collaborate with someone who made guitars and give them with my thing. Yeah, that's how custom guitar builds are, basically, where you just tell them what. Because I'd love to have a hand in the process, the painting or like,
No.
selection.
I know who you're gonna let paint the guitar.
Oh, she already has painted one of my
right there. Oh, she says we would. That's so cute. That's so cute.
That is true. She already painted one of my guitars. And,
did she?
Yeah.
Nice.
I'll show you later.
Is it pink?
It does have pink in it.
Okay. I sort of know what you're talking about. I would love to sit with some sound engineers or
like the guys from
people like Native Instruments or and just sit and create a controller like Stefan Bodson did. Some sort of like a setup. I tried to do it myself. Tried to get into modular synthesizers. Too expensive. And I would probably have to spend years trying to build it. I'm not ready yet. Only because I still need to get completely comfortable with the setup that I have now. I'm still adding to it, removing from it. And maybe when I understand my process and you know how you first get into FL Studio and you're trying to understand where everything is, until you reach a point where you are just without looking, you just know and move the mouse here and you get to this menu. I want to do this keyboard shortcut level. When I reach that point of mastery with my live setup, I think then I'll move to modular. Because then I'll know my exact process, where my fingers need to go, depending on where I want to take the track. And I want everything to be sort of, my main concern was to put everything in a travel-friendly setup.
Yeah.
The stuff that I have, if I want to do a live show somewhere, I need a crew, man.
Yeah.
What are they called? Roadies. I need roadies.
So
that would be tough.
You'd have to get something very minimal.
Yeah, which is why modular synthesizers. You just, for those who don't know, you buy a box and you fill it with little modules, which are like little devices. And there's like a convention for them. They're all the same height. And there's a unit for how wide they are. And everything is sort of wired from the back, but you also patch things using little wires. So it makes for very interesting sounds, and you can literally make your own sound.
It's very experimental.
We have a question. Yes. Have you had times where you stopped making or playing music for a while? Oh yeah.
Definitely.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I think it's necessary sometimes.
I agree.
Yeah. I've had a lot of like ruts where I felt like I just wasn't musically creative. I couldn't bring out anything, or I was just dissatisfied with the type of stuff because I kept writing the same kind of things. So I just take a break and go do everything else that I want to do in life. Play games, actually go out. But yeah, I feel like breaks are necessary because you come back fresher, more open-minded, and just ready to do stuff.
I agree. Sometimes it can get overwhelming and stressful, and I don't like it when music does that to me, and it does. It's just like work.
Mm-hmm.
So hiatus is good. I mean, Miles Davis, man, he did not touch a trumpet for. I can't remember what it was. I keep telling you to watch that documentary, Aishan Sahani, man.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go watch it.
Yeah,
right now.
please do. But even someone as great as Miles Davis did not touch a trumpet for, I think it was a period of years even. If not 1 year, yani years. Imagine then someone who was synonymous, like you say trumpet, Miles Davis, automatically. Granted, maybe it was because of the drugs and stuff, but but the point is that when he did come back to it, he came back with a new vision, new like image, and created some of the best jazz music to date. So yeah, definitely do not be afraid of taking a break for sanity sake, for creativity's sake. I mean, take your time. You have all the time in the world.
Definitely. And you get time to like collect different influences from different things, be it whatever kind of media you consume.
True.
It's been months, I think, where I haven't felt musically creative and still can't seem to. I think a good course of action is
collaborate.
Well, that is also great.
Yeah.
But also challenge yourself. Like, I'll talk to you about it later, actually. But I'll go into it briefly. It's just to introduce little challenges where you put yourself in a box and you have to create things based on a certain set of rules. Yeah, for example, it has to be this genre, it has to be this fast, and it has to have this scale or whatever. And then you do that thing, and then you move on to the next challenge. And that makes you do stuff because you just want to get the challenge over. It doesn't have to sound good. You just have to do. Yeah.
You just gamified it.
Yeah, a lot of people like to do that stuff. Andrew Wong, if you follow him on YouTube, does
yeah, he does that. Yeah, that would be interesting. I might actually try that. The way I do it is try to create elements that I can use later on and get inspired by. So it could be a beat, it could be just melodies. So I just have a project that's full of melodies, a project that's full of bass lines in a certain scale or a certain key. And that's always a good way to build a little arsenal for yourself, you know? We're in the last minute. So thank you, Hamed, once again for this episode. We really enjoy these discussions, and I hope everybody else enjoyed them as well. We'll think of another topic. We're going to put this this video also on YouTube after the magic of editing.
Send us your suggestions. If you have anything in mind that you feel that you'd like us to explore, we'd definitely love to, give that.
Please, if you have any suggestions for topics that you'd like us to talk about, send them to me, Ahmed Zainal, or to Hamed at Hamandi. 15 seconds left. I'll use them to say, stay safe, stay at home, and goodbye.